I joined when I was 19 years old. I was the definition of a broke college student. I was living in my parents' house. So I had everything I needed, obviously, because my parents were amazing parents and they always provided for my sister and I. But, the things that I wanted, I didn't have, like getting my nails done, going out to eat, sometimes putting gas in my car just to drive to a friend's house. It was awful. Like, I was literally the definition of a broke college student. So Cassie, my best friend, she joined this business. 3 days later, I got on board with her. I didn't have the $99 to get started, but I borrowed it from my parents and I was able to pay them back right away with a fast start. So, if you talk to people that tell you they don't have the money, if they want it bad enough, they'll, get it, because that's what I did. I knew that I needed something more. And I was actually on the search of a third job at the time because I was a full-time college student going to school full-time, didn't know what I wanted to do. I went through nursing, medical tech, business. So much was going on in school. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was never like the type of person that enjoyed going to school. I just did because that's, kind of how we grow up, being told that's what we have to do. So I was doing that and I was working two jobs. I was actually working at the salon with Cassie. We were both receptionists and I was waitressing at night. So when I wasn't at school all day, I was either at the salon or waitressing at night, or was at home studying and doing homework. So life was super busy for me 3 years ago. So this business came into my life and I didn't know like what it was about or how far it was going to take me. At the time, the Ruby bonus was the thing, the $1,000 Ruby bonus. And that's all I wanted. I joined and I was like, you know what, if I can get that bonus, that's all I need. I'm set for life, basically, is what I thought at the time. And 30 days in, I was able to get that bonus. So for me, that was life-changing. Like, I remember opening my prelims and telling Cassie, like, this is like the most I've ever seen in my bank account. Like, this is crazy. And so I was like, okay. So like, I was like, okay, let me just keep doing this. If I do what I did last month, I can get to Emerald. So I went Emerald in my second month. And then my third month, I went Diamond and I got that $10,000 bonus. And what I did to do that is I literally just had in my mind, okay, if I can get to Diamond, I can quit these two jobs that make me miserable every single day. Because I remember being so happy before work and going into work, my mood completely changed. Like, I hated being there. I hated that I would put so much effort and work into a job that didn't pay me for that effort and work. I remember going into work. I live in Connecticut, so when it snows here, it snows. So I remember, plowing my driveway with my dad to get into work one day. I put so much effort into getting into work, trying to impress my boss and make him happy and do everything I needed to do and beyond. And I was still getting paid $10 an hour. And to me, that sucked. So I went Diamond 3 months in. And then I sat at Diamond for a little bit, and then my first event conference of 2016, that completely changed my business. And I remembered that was my first event, and everyone was telling me, get to the conference, like, it's going to change your business. And I believed it, but I just didn't really know what all that hype was about. So I went to conference. After I left conference, I went double diamond and got the $25,000 bonus. The month after, I went triple diamond and got the $50,000 bonus. And a year later, conference of 2017, I went presidential and got the $100,000 bonus. And, what I did 3 years ago is the same thing I do now. I post every single day. I talk to new people every single day. So I message people and I just follow people and I follow up. Those are the 4 consistent things I do every single day in this business.
Sorry, I was muted. I love that. And I love what you said about, okay, so you joined and like you had that first goal of like, I want to go Ruby. So like, I'm going to make that happen. I'm going to go Ruby, get the $1,000 bonus, and then, okay, well, you didn't go Ruby and stop.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Cause I see that a lot. People work and they hit Ruby and then they're like, got the bonus, they stop. And then all of a sudden the next month they're like, wait, now I can't maintain, or I didn't go forward, but you went from Ruby, then, okay, now let me get to Emerald and then let me get to Diamond. And so that I'm with you. That's what I always say. that's what I did. It's like it was always the next rank, trying to get that. When you're pushing towards the next rank, you don't have to worry. You're going to maintain. You're going to keep going forward, So I love that. And yeah, I mean, just getting to events, they're life changing. And if you can't get to an event, I mean, even just hopping on a call, seeing that somebody, I mean, people that are new that are hopping on, I know we have still people hopping on, but somebody 19 years old can join this business. Like literally, I feel so old. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I remember totally thinking people in their 30s were old. Now I'm like, great. I'm like in my mid 30s. Like it's ridiculous. But so I'm like ancient, but I wish I would have had this business at 19 or 20 or 21. John and I got married at 22. I'm like, this would have been like incredible, So it doesn't matter your age. I love that. There's no mold. Like you look at, top income earners, everybody's so different walks of life. I love that. And just seeing that, a 19-year-old college student can run this business, like who didn't have the money. And I think today on a few of my group chats, a couple of the girls are like, what do I say to somebody that says they don't have the 99? And yes, you can tell them about pre-selling wraps and different things, but I love what you said, like you figure out how to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's just the thing. We didn't really have the 99 either when I joined. Like, that's why I joined, because we didn't have the extra money to put our daughter in dance class when you figure it out, you get it, But let's kind of back up a little bit. So what did you first do to go Ruby? So your friend did this, and you were, and that's what I always tell people. And I know not everybody's warm market is going to say yes right away, but if you're going to make money, don't not ask your friends, because it's super fun to do with your best friends. It's super fun to do. If some of them want to watch for a while, that's okay. But you're going to have some that say yes if you're excited. So tell us this. What did Cassie say to you first to get you to say, okay, I'll do this with you?
Well, we kind of do everything together. So like for her, it was no convincing. She was like, do this business with me. You're broke anyways. Like, let's just do this. It's going to be fun. So I just joined like right on the spot. I'm one of the rare people who didn't do any research, didn't know what the hell I was getting into, and I just joined. Okay. So it didn't take much convincing for her to get me to join. But, I talk to people my warm market didn't work out for me. My family's very small. A lot of people from my hometown made fun of Cassie and I. So our warm market was like out of it. So we jumped right into social media. But I tell my girls, like people who I get started today, I tell them to make a list of 30 people that they can think of. If they were sick, they would be there to reach out to them. So even though warm market didn't work out for me, like I'm always pushing that on my newbies. Like that's the first thing I have them do is create a list of 30 people, and they tell me when they're done. If they have more than 30, great. If they have less, that's fine too. And I have them make a list, and then we reach out to those 30 people. So, I have a simple message that says like, hey, I just joined this business. We have over 50 health and wellness products. Your support would mean so much to me. Would you be open to hearing more about the products and the business opportunity? And that's kind of like what they send. And that opens doors to people to say, yeah, like tell me more. Or if someone's like, oh, okay, not this time, that's fine. They can reach out later. But, my warm market wasn't a thing for me, but I always push that on my newbies like every single day when I get them started, because it's so important. And most of my girls for customers are their warm market. And then obviously we go on to social media, because I'm big on social media, and that's how we go from there. But the warm market is so important, and never like decide for someone else that they don't want this business or they don't want these products, because you never know who will join your team or who's going to buy from you.
I love that. And so then tell me this. So you went Ruby in 1 month. So right now, I mean, there's still a lot of month left. Like, what is it, the 9th or 10th? I mean, we've got 21 days left. Like, that's like 3 weeks. So I believe everybody on this Zoom who's not yet Ruby can 100% go Ruby. You joined, went Ruby in 1 month. So tell me this, how did you do that? Who did you sign up? Like, how did you go Ruby in a month? Because that's huge.
Okay. Yeah. So for me, actually, I didn't sign up my first distributor in like 2 weeks in. So I had like 2 weeks to build my Ruby chart and, work with my team to get the volume. So for me, like I said, I've been huge on social media since day one. None of the people actually 2 people on my team, they were people that I kind of knew, they weren't my friends or anything. Like I've spoken to them a couple times before, but they just saw my posts on social media about me posting about the business opportunity and they reached out to me. But everyone else, 2 people I knew, all the 3 other people I didn't know on my Ruby chart. So they reached out to me for me consistently posting every single day. And I always tell my team it's so important. Like there's no secret to success, but one thing I would say that has helped me to get me where I am today is consistency. You know, no matter what is going on in my life, my business is always being worked. Whether I'm posting every single day, talking to people, following up, and following new people. So consistency is key. So Ruby, I got my 4 customers right away, and then I worked on a couple more customers, and this is all from me literally just posting and messaging people on social media and just asking. Like if you don't ask, you're not working your business. You can't just post and expect people to come to you. People do come to me, but most of my business comes from me asking other people. So that is me messaging people that follow me on social media and just either complimenting them, or if I see someone's profile that, you know, I just have this really good feeling about that they're going to be so good at this, I literally tell them that I have this feeling that they're going to be so good at this, and if they would be open to hearing more about what I do. I utilize stories so much. I use polls. You know, I have ones that just say swipe up and message me. But going Ruby, like the biggest thing is having that chart out. That chart was with me everywhere I went. Like I constantly had like a vision of what I needed, how many spots I needed to get filled, and like what volume I needed to fill too. Because if you don't have that chart on you, it's kind of like you're just winging it. Like the chart is going to take you exactly where you need to get to that rank. And when that, even now, you know, like working on Ambassador, like my charts are always with me. Like I keep them in a binder so I can take them everywhere. And it's so important because if you constantly don't have that, how are you going to enroll a customer and know where to move it and update it? Or how are you going to know what you need for that box to be at 400? It's so important to have that chart because that's going to take you to that rank that you want to get to.
I think that's so true. You will never accidentally promote ever.
Yeah.
Like never once in the business was I like, oh, yay, I just went Ruby or I just went Diamond or Ambassador. It's like you have to have that chart. You need to see, you know, are you short distributors? Maybe you have a distributor they're doing nothing. That's going to happen. People, in case you haven't realized that, because I feel like I've heard that a lot today from different people. You're going to have people that sign up and do nothing. Welcome to the club. People that sign up and block you, you know, and you're like, I didn't ask you to join, you know, like you asked you to join, you messaged me, but whatever. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What matters is, you know, you replace them, then you find somebody new and you move on, you know, and so you've got to know, what do you need? How short is your volume? How many customers do you need? Maybe you want to break it down. I don't remember who said it, but somebody said they break theirs down and like, I need X amount of triple threads, or I need X number of wraps. And then they know what they need and they know what to work with. And then you want to let your team know, if you're trying to go Ruby, who's going to be your executive? Do they know what they need? Are they even trying to go executive? Because if their goal isn't at least executive, you're probably not going to hit Ruby. So you guys want to make sure you're working with your team on the same page. So I love that. And I love that you said, you know, posting's huge. I'm big. We don't have a sign to put on that say I'm open. So posting is showing you're open, and doing it daily, because at the end of the day, you want someone to think of you when they think about ordering products, making extra money. You want to be the name they come to. And I like that you said you don't just post, you're also out there asking. So you said that if you see somebody and you think, man, they'd be great at the business, you message them. What about if, like, do you have like a sample message you like to send for customers, or do you have any like those go-to ones that you like to use?
Yeah, so I actually don't message for distributors. I consistently post like so much for distributors. So most of my posts are like life posts. A couple of my posts will be product posts here and there. But if you follow me, so most of my posts are literally just life posting, because I message 24/7 for customers. So that's how I get my customers, is by me messaging.
Okay.
But like I said, a couple posts I'll throw here and there will be product posts, but most of them are just like posts because that's how I get my distributors, is literally constantly. Me posting for distributors is just a constant alarm clock for them. Like, here you are again, like this opportunity is right in front of you. Like, I'm constantly posting to remind my followers the opportunity that I have that they could be offered as well. So that's how I get my distributors. So I message this message. It's super simple, and it just says, hey girl, I know this is random, but I was looking at your page and was curious if you would like to be a product tester for me. I think you're so beautiful and would be amazed by our products. You would get an awesome discount for doing so. Would you be interested? That's simple, and sometimes I change it up and I compliment them sometimes, like if I look at their page and I see their dog, we're getting a new dog and so many people have Goldens and that's what we're getting. So I compliment a lot of girls that I follow who have them. Or, sometimes I just will call them by their name. So I use different messages, but that's briefly like what I use.
I love that. Yeah. So you just, give them a compliment. And at the end of the day, they're not going to be offended, Yeah,
no.
Like no one's going to be mad that you asked. So then tell me this, do you have like a set number? Like, I know you talked about a few of the things that you do every day, but like your ideal day, like tell us, like break it down, like the number. Do you have like a number you try to send out, or is it just whatever you're feeling when it comes to like your posts, your messages, follow up on your ideal day, 6 list, whatever?
Yeah. So I will get, when I joined 3 years ago, like posting was so different than what it is now with the algorithm and all that stuff. Like I would post like 6 to 8 times a day 3 years ago. Now it's so different with people who see your stuff. So I post at least twice a day. I usually don't post 3 times a day. It's kind of between 1 or 2 posts. And I keep my posts, just super bright and my pictures like super clear. And I just use PicTapGo to edit them. So I post every day. I'm constantly posting on my story. That's like unlimited because, that doesn't matter. So I'm constantly posting on my story. So with messaging, I at least try to message 100 people a day. I have 2 accounts. They're both literally the same account, but it's just for more business just because like a year ago I was getting blocked with following and messaging. So I just opened up a new account, but it's like the same thing. Whatever I post on my first one, I post on my second one. So between both accounts, I try to get out between like 100, 120 messages a day. And I usually do that in tens. So I will just message 10 people on one account, 10 people on another, just so, I don't get too overwhelmed with responses because right there, that's 20 people. So I want to make sure I'm answering every single person and then getting their number and texting them. So I post twice a day. I will do unlimited stories. I run Captivate at night. I don't know if you use that. So it's the following app. It follows all night for me. So you can like upload 800 people to like a queue and it runs night mode. So what it does, it'll just follow all 800 people for you at night. And then I unfollow during the day. Like I give it a little bit for them to follow me back. I unfollow during the day and I run Captivate every single night. And that's kind of just what I do. And then in between during the day, I follow up. Like I'm huge on following up because that's how I get most of my customers, is just following up so much every single day. Like everyone I talked to today that just randomly stopped answering me, like tonight before I go to bed, I'll sit down, I'll write all those numbers down in my planner that just stopped answering me, and I'm going to follow up with them tomorrow.
I love that. And that's true. Fortunes in the follow-up. So you keep track of that. And so, yes. And if you're on here and you're like, what's Captivate? We've got on our team page, if you just go search Captivate, there's a tutorial of how to use it that Kelly Brown did, or someone can bump that if they want. So I love that. So you mainly focus on messaging about the products.
Yes.
And then do you feel like a lot, and then you post, a lot of those photos, like beautiful photos, but they're talking about the business. It's not necessarily like join my team, $99,
Yeah.
And I know like you do a lot of like before and afters and stuff in your stories. So then you're working on Instagram stories. So for you, Instagram's kind of one of the big ways you like, is that more than Facebook what you personally do?
Yeah, I really don't use Facebook at all. Actually, like I'll post here and there, but Instagram has just been like the biggest thing for me since I started.
What your
like,
little 22-year-old self does.
Yeah, I'm like mainly on Instagram just because, I don't know, because even before this business, I wasn't much on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I just stuck with Instagram, and that's kind of just what's worked for me. And I love it just because it's so easy to work. Like you click follow, follow, follow. Well, now with Captivate, it's different. It's easier. And I just love like posting, and, you know, a lot of like people, you know, are on Instagram. Doesn't even matter what age. Like my mom's on Instagram and she's 58, you know? So everyone's using Instagram. I know people use Facebook too, but I feel like more so Instagram. So that's kind of like what I've done since day one, Instagram.
Okay, there's been a few good questions. Looking here. So somebody said, what do you do? Because it's true, like you now have grown this following, like, you know, but what do you do to somebody that joined your team? I mean, maybe they have 200 friends on Instagram, you know, they barely know how to use it. They're like, what do you mean stories? Like, how do you teach somebody that? Like, what would you say to somebody that doesn't necessarily have the audience? Like, what is kind of those first steps in, I guess, getting one of your distributors going?
Well, that's fine because I tell them I didn't either. When I joined, I had 300 followers, and I would post like once a month maybe on Instagram. So I was on Instagram creeping other people, but I was never like using it to post for myself and take selfies. You know, selfies for me was like horrifying that I had to like take a selfie and post a picture of myself, because before this business, like I would never take selfies. Like that was just like not my thing. So, you know, I get it because I had very little followers. I didn't have a warm market, but you just go and get started. Like you start posting, like on our team page, we have a thread with like tons of posts that have worked out for us that we share with our team. So I send my team there. And I tell them, just follow my lead, because that's what I did when I got started. Me and Cassie got started and we had no idea what we were doing. So we just followed who was successful. We saw top leaders. So we followed Jade. She had tons of training videos, and then we saw Alyssa and Tiffany. So like we were copying the right cats, you know, so we were doing what they were doing, because if they were being successful and we were doing that too, and we were just consistent with it, it was going to work for us too. So that's what I tell my team is, you know, if you start and you don't use social media, that's fine, because I wasn't huge on social media either. You just have to get started somewhere. So start following people, start posting, posting stories. And I always tell my newbies, take my posts, take my stories, like take whatever you want off my page and post on yours. And don't be like intimidated or scared, because, you know, my girls will say, oh, you have 10,000 followers and I only have this many. I'm like, well, that's fine, because when I started, I only had 300 and I just started following people every single day. So don't let like those numbers intimidate you, because, you know, we all have to start somewhere. Rarely you get people with 2,000 followers on Instagram who join your team. You know, a lot of my girls have very little followers, and I just tell them, just get started, just start following people, just start messaging and just start posting.
Okay, so then messaging, you know, 100 to 125 a day, that's a lot. So who are you messaging? Where do you find, like, are you doing like likers, who's viewing your stories, who's following you? Like, how do you figure out who to message? Because I have people all the time tell me like, well, I've messaged everyone, or I don't know who else to message, or, you know, so just figuring out how do you do that?
So I used to message my likers, but I kind of just wasn't getting the results I wanted to. So one day I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go into my followers and I'm going to start messaging people a message, and I'm going to see what they say. And it's so funny because I remember telling Cassie this, and she's like, oh, good luck. Because we used to just message our likers. So, you know, that was like 20 likes. So we messaged 20 people. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to go into my followers and I'm going to start messaging them. And then instead of messaging them on Instagram, I'm going to right away ask for their number when they message me back. And then I'm going to, instead of send the message of the products in there, I'm going to text them, say, hey girl, it's Nayara from Instagram, and send the message with like a brief script of the products over text. And I remember Cassie was like, oh, that seems like a lot of work. Like, good luck. Like, and I remember that day I signed up 4 customers just from doing that. So that's what I've just stuck with since then. So I'll message someone a simple message, And then they say, yeah, or tell me more, or I don't know anything about this. Can you give me more info? And I just say, what's your number? I'll text you all about it. So much easier than DM. Because also you have to think about it. Like before it works, were you on DM all the time? No, right? I mean, I didn't even know like that was even a thing on Instagram. So your potentials aren't on there either. So I right away, before I even tell them anything, I ask for their number and I will then text them, because you'll see that the conversation will go much smoother if you're texting someone than over Instagram. And it's easier for me to just follow up and keep things organized that way too.
I love that. So you're doing your followers. So you just go to who's ever following you. You just go through. So you'll just pick where to start.
Yeah, you just have to kind of pick where to start and then just work your way up. And then if you want to just screenshot where you left off, or, if you can just like, I will just remember the name where I left off kind of just by seeing it. So I'll start from there and I'll keep going up and up and up. So that's what I do.
Cool. I've never even thought to do that. Yeah, I love that. And so then you're doing it over text. And then, so when you send them a message, I know a lot of people are like, okay, what kind of message? So I love that you ask them to be like, you're interested. I think you're so beautiful, whatever, product model. And then do you kind of do like, okay, I have a few openings for, and then list like 4 of the most popular products?
Yeah. So then I'll get their number and I'll text them and I'll say, hey girl, it's Nayara from Instagram. And then I say, so first tell me a couple things that you would be interested. I have a couple spots open for the wraps that tighten, tone, and firm. I talk about the greens a little bit, and you don't want to go into too much detail. You want to just list out a couple products there, and then they'll tell you what they're interested in. And then from there, I'll give them detail about one product at a time. That's huge for me too. Like if someone will tell me 4 products, I never just send a script of all 4. I do one at a time with people, and then I give them a price at the end after I've gone over all like 4 products, let's say, if they were interested in that.
Okay. And then I know a lot of times people ask, well, how do you bring up, like being a loyal customer, which is, it's a great deal. Ordering for 3 months, they get our 40% discount. But I know you do have to be careful of saying like auto ship or different things that like scare people. So how do you bring that up?
Yeah. So then I give them a price. Let's say we're talking about hair, skin, and nails. I'll say HSN retails at $55, but you would get it for only $33 with my 90-day challenge discount. And then usually they ask. And if they don't ask, I'll say the 90-day challenge means you'll get 1 order a month for 3 months, and that's how you get my 40% discount. And that's how I explain it to them. It's super simple. I don't like get them super confused. Like, this means you get the discount. This is an auto ship. Like you click this and that's how you get it. And each month you can go in and change it. That just overwhelms people. I just say you get 1 order a month for 3 months, and that's how you get the discount. And if people ask more details, I'll tell them, you can freeze the account for 30 days because you can push off the auto ship if you can't afford it 1 month, or you can switch the product around to something different, because people love that too, that they don't have to just stick with that same product they're ordering this month. They can switch it around to different things. And I say, after the 90 days, if you don't want to continue, you don't have to, but if you do, you keep getting the perk points. And I just let them know too that they're forever going to have that discounted price, and they don't have to do the auto ship again after they do it for the 90 days. So they love it.
They love it. Okay, awesome. Okay, no, I like that. And then when it comes to your day, so we did talk about, you're posting your stories, you're messaging 100, 125 people a day, and then you're running Captivate and Cleaner. Is there anything else that's like involved in like what you do for your business?
No, so I am just posting, following at night, and messaging people and just following up. That's like, it's literally, I feel like I'm like a robot because I'm doing that consistently like every single day. Like I just wake up and just work my business all day long, no matter what I'm doing, and I do this full time now. So like, obviously I'm home a lot, I don't have to be anywhere or do anything, but while we're at family events, we moved to Florida a couple months ago, like a year ago, actually, and we're back home in Connecticut, and now more than ever, we've been like with our family so much just because we were away from them for a couple months. And, there's always stuff going on, but my business is always being worked no matter what, and my family gets it too. Like, Yeah, a couple times, like I'll be on the phone, like at the dinner table, but I tell them that, it's better for me being here, like on my phone here and there and still having a conversation with them rather than me not be here and have to be at a job, where I have to clock in and miss out on all of this time, and that's what's like the biggest thing for me is just the freedom of being able to work this business literally like from anywhere. Because if I didn't have this business, I wouldn't be able to enjoy as much time as I do with my family and my boyfriend and my friends. So, I work this on the go wherever I am. I went to Brazil 2 months ago and I got an international plan. I was working from there. It's just a huge blessing that we're able to just do it from anywhere. So it just fits into my busy lifestyle no matter where I am. So I just do those 4 things every day. And obviously a lot of self-development too. As I'm just sitting home on the couch, I have self-development on all the time.
So what's some of your favorite stuff to listen to? Yeah, because I think so much is mental and just that mindset and believing it.
Yeah. So I listen to Grant Cardone. I love him. And I just love, like, he's more so like helping with sales. And I just love his attitude. He's awesome. So I listen to him. And then I also listen to, let me pull my books here. I just do audiobooks because I don't like to read. I do the 10X Rule, which is by Grant, the 5-second rule, High Performance Habits, You Are a Badass at Making Money, Jen Sincero, You Are a Badass, and then The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and Girl, Wash Your Face. So I kind of just go through like whatever I'm feeling that day and I just listen to that. But those are like the main ones that I listen to.
Okay, so yeah, I love that. So we talked about you went diamond, went to conference, came back, went double, went triple, and then when did you go presidential?
So I went presidential conference of 2017, so a little over a year ago.
Okay, so after conference, you basically came back, boom, and then once again, an event took you to that next level.
Yeah, I mean, always before conference, I kind of like knew or was close to being charted for the rank, and I just knew that it was just going to happen. Every conference, it's funny, I just promote. But yeah, it's kind of like I went to conference and my team went and we just like, our fire was lit again, and we just went with the momentum that was going on.
I love that. And then did it. So then what would you say, like, well, kind of in closing, well, 2 things. I'll have you answer 2 last things. So
yeah,
what did you ever do when there was like, if you started to get like kind of that battlefield of the mind, like a thought came in of, oh, I don't know if I can do this, or, oh, like how do you like push past that? Or, somebody told you no, or maybe someone quit, or, you always get those slumps. So I know you've got your whole slew of self-development, but how do you push past that?
Well, the biggest thing is just never giving up. Like, social media is just a huge highlight reel. People like, I'm not perfect. I go through things constantly, like the devil just telling me, things that, I don't want to hear, and the biggest thing for me is I pray to God, like that's the first thing I do every single morning and every single night. And when those thoughts are just going through my mind, like I just pray. And I also just work harder than I was that second, because if people aren't answering me, I know it's just going to lead me to a yes. And I have days where it was so funny because last month, I think it was the double fast starts going on. Like I was working so hard. I was following up with so many people and I was just talking to everyone, and I was talking to my boyfriend. I'm like, oh my God, like no one's signing up. Like, what am I doing? And, like even me being 3 years in, like, where I am, like I still have these doubts, and thoughts creeping in. And I just pray and I just do self-development, and I just keep working. Like I don't stop when those things happen, which I think is like what most people do is they'll say, okay, I'm going to put my phone down for the night. I just keep going because that's what like pushes me to work even harder, because I know that those no's are going to lead me to a yes. So I don't do anything special. I just keep messaging. I keep following up. Like that day, I remember like I was messaging so much. I was following up so much. I was just talking to so many people, but no one was signing up. And no one was answering me. And I just keep going. There's not much that I do because I know that like it's so much harder to stop and then get back into it than it is to just keep going. So that's kind of my thing is I just keep going.
You just keep going. I love that. Someone had said, do you build relationships before you message them? Or are you like, they're following me, I'm going to go in and just ask?
So I just message them, and how I build my relationships is over text. So I build huge relationships with my potential distributors because they get, they tell me their story. They tell me why they need this business, like what's going on in their life. And I also build huge relationships with my customers too, because most of my customers want to lose weight. Most of my customers are moms, who hate how they look after they're pregnant, so there is how I build my relationship with them. Like just instilling the confidence in them that I'm there to help them, whether it is for the business that I want to help change their life, like exactly how I have changed mine with the business or with the product. So that's kind of how I build my relationships is after I get their number off social media, like we become like friends, whether it's like my distributors, like we're all so close, and my customers too, like we keep in touch all the time. So that's kind of how I build my relationships. I don't do it before I message them. I just message them. Okay. And then I will build relationships through the text messaging when we're talking, whether it's about the products or the business.
I love that. Okay. And then lastly, let's just say, which you already kind of said, one tip, but I had written down what's like a tip for, somebody pushing for promotion this month. So I know you said, have your chart. You carry that chart with you. Know where you're going. Do you have anything else that you would say to somebody that's, pushing for that ruby, pushing for that emerald, pushing for that diamond promotion this month?
Yeah, I mean, don't give up because I get it. Like I feel like I've been pushing for ambassador for months now, and you just have to keep going because maybe it's just not your timing right now. It's all in God's timing. And I've been tested in huge ways with my promotion, and I've pushed and pushed and pushed so hard. And I know that it's going to happen within the time that is right, but still keep pushing and keep, going, and don't give up just because you don't get to where you want to be. Because I can tell you, like, if I were to have given up like so many times, like early on in my business, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I'm so happy that I didn't give up and that I kept going. And, we all go through hard things in the business. We all get no's, like we all get rejected. We all have people who tell us they're going to sign up and are in the process of signing up and block us and don't answer. It happens to all of us, but just keep going. Like don't stop and don't let those things get in the way of you being successful in promoting.
I love that. Oh, thank you so much, girlfriend. And I don't even think at the beginning, I didn't like totally get to brag on you. So not only is this rock star, you're 23 or 20?
Yeah, I just turned 23.
Okay, she just turned 23, started this business at 19, but she's a presidential diamond. She's a top 10 income earner, and that's like huge, you guys. I mean, at presidential, like I don't know all the top 10 or top 20, but I know that to be up there, and she's a presidential, and there's 100 ambassadors. So she's blown about 91 of them out of the park with her I mean, that's just the facts, okay? So that's incredible. And that just goes to show you don't have to have been in this business when it started. Like you can join, and you said 3 years you've been in?
Yeah, 3 years.
3 years you can come in and go to the top. I mean, this is a pretty young team too. I've been in, just had my 4-year anniversary, so no one on here has been in longer than 4 years. So you can come in 3-4 years, go to the top of this company, and that's crazy. Like you probably couldn't go to Mary Kay with 4.5 million reps and in 3 years be at the top. So talk about the right company, the right place, the right time. All these bonuses. So thank you for sharing. You're so adorable, and we're cheering you on to ambassador because I know you're not stopping here.
No, not at all. I just keep going. And like I said, guys, just keep going because this company isn't going anywhere. There have been so many times I've been so hard on myself for not getting to where I want to be, but I know that it's going to happen. And it doesn't matter, when or, if it's not when I want it to happen, it's going to happen if you don't give up. So that's like the biggest thing for me is just keep going.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. Okay, well, we've got this recorded, y'all. So the only announcements I can think of is don't stop sharing about the special. Fit 15, join for $99. They're going to get over $400 worth of product. You guys, that special is going on until Saturday. So I'm telling you, I think I've signed 4 or 5 distributors with this deal, and it's all been follow-ups. So it hasn't even been messaging new people. So I'm telling you, this is the thing you use to follow up with all those people that you've talked to. If they've been interested in the business when it was $99 for just a box of wraps, can you imagine how they're feeling now that it's $99 and they can get all of this stuff plus add in about the bonuses? So follow up. And that's all. Okay, love y'all. Have a good night. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.